Okay. I don't know how well this will record, but I have some time in the morning where I woke up early, and don't mind the slight accent. Being around Spanish speakers has affected the way I enunciate and articulate. I hope you can hear me all right. Well, this is my last night here, Saturday. I get my last experience with ayahuasca tonight. Tonight's going to be different because our last experience, or our last week, was just with 5 people. So me, 2 other women, and 2 other men. And that's a very small group, because normally it's usually like 10 or more, typically, unless you're special, which I guess we're special. But tonight is open to the locals. So 40 other people. I don't know if it's 40 plus us or we are included in the 40, but 40 people will be at this ayahuasca ceremony tonight. And that's not wild. Apparently, talking to another person that's been to other retreats, said that he had 75 people at one retreat. That's just, to me, that's just wild. I mean, it's still the good medicine, so, but I can't imagine that many people at once. Anyhow, there is so much. So, my first experience with ayahuasca here in Cancun as Xochipilli, it's very sensual. I should have brought my notes. It was very fun. Like both within both experiences, a lot of playfulness. That is like the love language of the universe or the earth or whatever. It's just play, and we don't play enough. Especially we're taught, as adults, to sit down, shut up, be quiet. Don't make too much noise. Don't affect people around you. Only talk about things that are socially acceptable. Don't express yourself truly. Just be convenient for everybody. And that's just not the way we were programmed to be. That first night was very Kali came to me, so there was forgive my tongue. I think all the alkaline has affected the space in my mouth. It feels a little fuzzy. I've brushed my teeth, I promise. But sticking my tongue out, something I don't normally do. I have a short tongue, and I consider myself a good girl. So I feel like sticking my tongue out would be bratty, right? Which I've struggled in the past to accept my inner brat. Everyone has an inner brat, at least women. And there was this aspect of sexual playfulness and like asking for more, kind of this seductress energy. I've always been told I'm a little too much or expect too much, or it's not reasonable for me to want my divine lover, like my perfect match, that like storybook shit. Oh, that's just movies. That's just the stories. No, the fuck it's not. What are they based on? Based on reality. I can't tell if someone's awake or I hear animals. I hope I'm not waking anybody up. I try to go away from the residence, or like, I don't know, on the other side. So if you see back there is where we're sleeping, on the other side of this building. Anyways, so yeah, I can have anything I desire, and I should not be afraid to want. And I've always been afraid to want, because does that make me greedy? Does it make me entitled? Does it make me needy? No, the universe is ready. It wants to give me what I want. I just have to want it. I have to be okay with wanting it. I have to want it deeply, and I have to be receptive and open to it, and do the actions to prepare myself. I can see the inception of recordings. So I can have whatever the fuck I want, and I could feel my lover, I think it's a male counterpart. Pretty sure it's not. I think I have a male and a female counterpart in this life. I would like to have a triad, but for sure the male. And he wants to give me everything he can, everything within his power. He wants to give it all to me. Yeah, he wants to feed me, feed my soul on every level, passionately and otherwise. He wants to take care of me without making me feel bad or making me feel like he's doing me such a big favor, and I will take care of him in return. He will look at me with wonder and think I'm just supple, divine magic. Oh, that was the other part. So one of the women that is here today, she's 20. I keep looking up at 444, the time, and then it was 555. Anyways, a woman that's here, her name is Chiara. She is French. She's 20 years old. Absolutely gorgeous. She's too critical of herself. But she influenced that first experience heavily because of the way she speaks. She is French. So, and my second experience, I got that she kisses each word as it comes out of her mouth. Like the way she speaks is so elegant and so beautiful. She doesn't like it, but I do. Anyways, so that first night, I told you I was sticking my tongue out a lot, right? And I was very aware of like the space in my mouth. And of course, both nights and every single time I've done ayahuasca, they tinker with my energy, where I can feel them manipulating the space inside my face. And like I felt a lot of tinkering on my nose. And I was told it was like spiritual surgery. Like they were upgrading and affecting things. Okay. But this night I was very aware of like my mouth and my tongue and the way I use it and the way I speak words because of Chiara. And so the word delicious, and to say it with such like delicious pleasure, like just to say them with the yumminess that they're meant to have, instead of how, I don't know, I don't feel like people respect words enough. And then que magnifique, I didn't ask for that to come, that just came to mind. I had to keep saying it and just keep giggling. Que magnifique. And so it felt as if an essence of who Kayla was before this trip. It was a story, and it's all just a story. Everyone's story is a story. It's just what you tell yourself is what's happened to you. So it's a memory that you keep ingrained on a loop, like a cycle. You keep playing it over and over as an identity. It's just a story. So at any point you can choose to let go of the pieces of the story that you no longer want to keep. So I'm willing to let go of almost all of it. Like I want to be here and now, and I want what's going to greatly improve from here forward. And so I feel like I shed my old container, like, the story, the old shape of Kayla and who I used to think I was, which has happened several times. But this one was like, it felt like almost a new captain of the ship. So another essence of it's still my soul, but another flavor or essence of my energy stepped in, and like took over the ship. And this one was very sensual, which I was already sensual and passionate, but this one, like, it feels like I am allowing myself to indulge in even just sounds and how words come out of my mouth, and to not be afraid to want, because the people who are in alignment with you and your frequency are going to want to give. So be yourself, be authentic, be open, trust yourself, trust others, and they will want, like, the universe will just continuously feed you as long as you feed others, like just this beautiful synergy. So I got that both nights. I got the word anointed. I felt anointed. I kept having to do this on my head. I felt like Mother Ayahuasca was telling me, like, it is your time now. You are being attuned and anointed to be able to go out and influence and affect people in the most positive ways. So that felt good. I feel like second night, I'll talk more about the second night in full on another video because it's already getting long. But the second night, sisterhood became very strong. Like to call myself sister, to call other women sister. And I'd never, like, I'd always kind of heard that and been like, all right. Like, you know, it's like almost a nun thing, right? Sister. So I just never really had any connection to the word or like deep value. And I understand now. I don't know how to explain why it's deeper to me now. The word, the phrase, deep reverence for this whole process of the medicine and the people here and the magic and the healing. And so I think sister implies that I revere and like honor and value you. So very beautiful things. Angelic. So like both nights, I just had tears streaming. Just like I wasn't crying. It was just tears just falling out of my eyes. And the noises they were making, and they were going in circles, and like I couldn't, my eyes were open and I couldn't see. My eyes were open and I was like looking around, but everything was like kind of hazy and fractal. It was dark, right? And so they're moving around. I could feel their movements and hear the different like changing of sounds. And I got that angels were present because it felt like the most light. Like I said, tears are just flowing out of my face. How beautiful and light the energy was. It felt so angelic. And there's one of the healers here named Esther, and her voice is very unique, and it's just the right amount of strange to be utterly like ethereal and magic. Like everything's magic. I can't help it. Like that was a big theme. And I realized the first night, my soul, who I am on the inside, comes from this higher dimensional space, right? Which I think most of us do. Some of us more than others, as far as like some of us have been trapped on earth and karmic cycles for a long time. I don't know who is it, but I'm gonna wave. But that I actually like, okay, I thrive in strange. My whole life I thought earth was boring and that there was I was bummed out. At 7 years old, I realized there was no magic because like animals wouldn't come talk to me and come to me, and I couldn't make things levitate and move like I expected to be able to do. It's gonna get loud. This has been all because it's Cancun during spring break is wild. Hopefully I remember what I was saying. Oh, I've always been strange. Okay, so yeah. So at 7 I thought, oh, there's no magic. Really? This is stupid. I was really bored with Earth and reality, society. I always liked fantasy or science fiction or just anything out there. Like when I read, I only read about like vampires and werewolves and like anything just supernatural because reality is boring to me. So me being in this like expanded experience awareness on this level of like super fucking out there, right? On a plane that human like brain doesn't fully compute. It was like, this is what I live for. This is where I'm from. I am so familiar with the strange, and it was so comfortable to me. And I think that was the difference between my experience and other people's experience, because a lot of other people struggled. They had less positive experiences, but like this was my shit. Like this is exactly where I'm from. It felt so familiar. And so I am the strange, and I'm supposed to bring my strange to here because that's what life is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be stale. My life was so stale before. I let it be stale because it was controllable and it was easy. It was, what is the word? Expectable, you know? That's not the word I want, but I could predict almost. Predictable. Yes, it was predictable. And I kept it very small because I was so overstimulated. But this is about to be 15 minutes long. I'm going to go ahead and stop it and start another one. Potentially right now or potentially later. It depends. It's about to be breakfast time, I think, soon. Nope. It's only 7. It's not even 7 yet. 7 a.m. So